Thanks for watching our video. Let's get started. We made this to help you retrofit your old or oddball recessed lighting can to a modern, energy-efficient LED. We have over 200 LED options available, as well as some hard-to-find parts in our extensive parts department. We can fit about 90% of the old recessed lighting cans to LED. To do this, we're going to walk you through a baseline of 5-inch and 6-inch fixtures, just to show you the quick basics. Then show you some examples of older and oddball fixtures. And finally, show you how we can retrofit your recessed fixture with a brand new LED module. Now, this video does not cover the little 2 or 3-inch cans, but we have experience with them as well. Send us a photo of the inside of the can and we should be able to help you with those too. This is our baseline section of the video where I want to just show you some recessed cans real quick and show you some of the things we look for. Now, this is a remodeled can, and this is a pretty high-end standard can. It's not junk. It's made by one of the best brands that's out there. The lip here goes up against your ceiling. These springs come out inside, holds the can in place. But really important is it has these clips on the inside. These are called torsion bar clips, and they're really important because almost all of the LED modules have springs on them. I'll show you in a minute, and they go inside these clips and it keeps the module up against the can. Now, this is a 5-inch can, and the modern 5-inch cans all have loose sockets. This is the socket right here, and a little socket cover so paint doesn't get in there. And these clips are very different than the 4 and 6-inch can, and you need to know that. We actually have a whole video on 5-inch cans, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I wanted to let you know this is the standard, but there's a whole bunch of really old cans out there that don't look like this. They don't have the clips. The sockets are mounted up on the top, up against this part of the can, and they're permanent, and those are a challenge. But we have a solution. We're going to get to that in a minute. But first, I just wanted to do this. This is a 6-inch remodel can. It has a junction box down here, just like the 5-inch does. It has a special little connector, and that goes directly into a module. So there you can see there's no plate, there's no socket, none of that. This goes right into the module. The module springs will connect right here on the clips. Just like our 5-inch can, the module goes over this. It's really simple. And this is kind of how everything's going. And some of these housings with this orange connector are actually required by code and Title 24 in California. So that's something you need to know about. And then finally, here's another one, another brand. They do the clips a little differently, a little different configuration. Nice. We'll be looking for those. Finding the clips in the first place were hard for us, believe it or not, but we got them, and we're going to show you how to put them in. This has that orange connector also. There's no socket plate, none of that. So these are some modern cans to just give you a baseline of what's important and what to look for. So we're going to move on now to our next section, which is called Hard to Fit and Old Recessed Lighting Housings. So here we're going to take you for a little view of some recessed lighting cans that are mounted up in various ceilings that we found all over the place. And I think this will give you a really good overview, and you'll probably see the recessed can that you have. If you do, please make a note of the number here on the page, and we'll be able to address it much more quickly when you email us. So let's look at a standard can mounted up here in the ceiling that's been textured and painted and everything else. It has the clips for the torsion bars. It has a socket mounted in a base plate or a socket plate. The socket's mounted in here with little springs. So if you were to undo this thumb screw, and don't undo it all the way, just undo it enough where you can slide this bracket up and out of the can, and then you can reach behind the can and undo those springs. And then you have a free socket if you want. So just don't undo that all the way. A lot of people make that mistake. Not good. I wanted you to see this can in action. And we sell this can because it's kind of the standard now. And it comes in a 6-inch size. So that's that. I wanted you to see all the parts. Let's look at this one here. So this is a standard can, just like the one I showed you. It has the clips, it has the socket, it has the springs, it has the base plate, but it has an adapter. and it has the orange connector, which is going off to an LED lighting module. We're going to show you a bunch of that later. But I wanted you to see this, and they just screwed it in here. They undid the thumb screw, and they pushed that plate all the way up to the top of the can so it's not in the way, and there's plenty of room up there. So I wanted you to see that and how that was mounted. In this picture, we're getting some of the older ones now. This is a recessed 6-inch can also. This one has the socket mounted permanently at the top of the can, so there's no adjustment potential. However, if you're just screwing in an adapter, it doesn't much matter. It also has a heat sensor. They all do, and they all should. In case it gets overheated, it'll shut off the can instead of just going on the overheated parade and melting down and causing a fire. On the side of it has these little slots. You'll see these here. And these slots are actually for the torsion springs to go up inside. So you squeeze them together, you put them in the slot, you let them expand, and then you push your trim up so it holds up against the ceiling. So this is the old school way of doing it versus the little clips that hang on the side. A little harder to use, but still very effective. So you just need to see that. Putting an LED module in this housing is not tough at all. It's very, very doable. Here's another kind of closer look at it in this picture, and you can see where the socket is mounted up at the top. There's no socket plate, and there's no adjustment potential. It still has the heat sensor, and there's that little slot on the side. They made it a little bigger, and they put it so they can get the torsion springs in, so you can have your LED module based on how you want it, and that works really good too. Now let's look at some of the more unusual ones. This one has the socket with nothing on the clips, so it's for future use. The socket's mounted but not permanently in the can. It can actually be released, which is good if you're using like an eyeball trim or a gimbal trim where the socket has to move with the trim. So an eyeball, it would be moving back and forth, same as a gimbal ring. So that's why it's hanging here ready for it to be attached to something else. Now this housing has no clips. So if you were going to use any of those other trims, you'd need the clips on the side, which we're going to talk about later. We're going to show you how to put them in. If you're doing an LED module, you're going to screw the adapter into the socket, leave it hanging where it is, but you're still going to need the clips on the side of the can. And we'll address that, like I just said, really quick here. So this is basically the same can I just showed you, just a closer up, and you can see here how the socket can be removed from the bracket that's holding it up to the top, kind of Mickey Mouse. So you could actually take this and put it on the back of an eyeball trim and do that. But for putting an LED module in here, you're going to put the adapter in. You need clips. They're missing. You need the clips to put on the side. We're going to show you how to do that with this can, and then you're in business. So I just wanted to let you see this in case you had one just like it. It does have this thumb screw here on the side, so you could put in a socket plate. Clip it into the plate, it can then move up and down like the other cans, but still it doesn't have any clips on the side. But that's kind of neat that they did that. That's something to look for. And if I'm going too fast, you can stop the video and take a really good hard look at, is that mine? So on this next picture, you can see where the socket's hanging from the can. It's connected to probably an airtight trim. No problem, we do that. And it has the clips. So pretty much anything goes as far as putting an LED module in here, or putting an airtight trim in here, or putting an eyeball or a gimbal ring fixture in this can. We can kind of do all of that because it does have the clips. It does have a socket. It doesn't have a socket plate that raises and lowers, which you don't always need. You need it for some trims, but not for the LED modules. It's not important. Here's one we see the most of as far as I don't know what to do kind of housings. And these two clips here release this whole thing, and it drops out of the ceiling. So this is a piece, and then this is a piece, and then there's a trim that goes over all of this. So let's take a look at that. So if you pull those springs with your fingers, pull them back, it will release the housing, release to the housing. So here's what one of them looks like. This is the big warning one. So you took the bottom off, you release the springs, and your socket's hanging free. And up inside, when you look up there, is a square box. Square. And this is a problem because we can't help you with the square box. We have yet to find something that we can retrofit to this because it's square. You don't have a lot of options. You can put everything back together and do some more hunting. We do that hunting all the time. or you may want to talk to your electrician about removing this, but it's not going to be pretty. If you're removing your ceiling completely and we're doing a major remodel, good, get rid of this box. Tell your contractor you want to go more modern and either use a 4 or 6 inch housing for depending on the space you're in. Try to stay away from the 5-inch just all the time. It's just kind of an oddball no matter which 5-inch it is. So you wanted to see that. So if you release that spring and you end up with this, not the square housing, but this nice round one, now we can do something. And this division here comes in a 5-inch and a 6-inch. Same thing, looks the same inside, just one's bigger in diameter. So we released it with the clips. Here's the clips. This thing's with this bracket is pushed up inside this housing, no problem. We're going to convert this to a LED module, so just leave it up there. It's not hurting anything. What we're going to do is we're going to add clips to a clipless can. Now, the can comes in 2 ways. It comes with nothing around the edges, it's smooth, or this one does have a place for those clips to go in, those little notches on the side, and here they are. There's some notches that you could maybe put those clips in. This housing, we opened this one up and found this. We quite simply just don't have anything yet. So if you have this one, I'm sorry, we're still working on it, and we would probably make a separate video for it. But as of right now, I'm sorry, this is really odd. We've only seen this like maybe twice. Now on this one, and it's kind of given you a what's called socket supporting trim. There's the socket. However, it's 7-inch. And we do have trims that'll work up in here for the 7-inch extra wide trims. And a lot of the LED modules have that ability. So we need you to measure your can no matter what and send it to us. And please get an accurate measurement, as accurate as you can up there on the ladder. Note if there's clips on the inside of the can or if we're going to have to get them put in there. So we kind of have an idea of what you have. The more information we get, the better. However, that being said, don't send us 20 pictures and 5 paragraphs. Our guys over in the tech department just can't do all of that. It's just too overwhelming for them. Keep it simple, a couple of bullet points. We don't care about what furniture you're putting in or any of that other stuff. We just want the facts so we can get moving. That's what we're looking for. So socket supporting trim recessed can 7-inch. Watch out for that one. Now this is actually a 5-inch housing, and it does have the clips on the side. And it does have the proper socket. So on something like this, like we showed you earlier, we're in business. We can put a LED retrofit in here, but not every one of them. And we have a lot to choose from, but we got to be careful. We need to know what you have. So get that measurement. It's usually right around 5 inches, usually a little bit more like shown here. But get us the picture, tell us what you have so we can get the solution for you and get you moving quickly. Now, here's a 4-inch housing. Not the greatest picture in the world, but you'll notice it doesn't have a socket mounted in it. Now, some of them do. They have a socket instead of here it has the LED plug-in. So this is a newer one, and this one just plugs into the LED module, and it's pushed up inside with compression springs. It doesn't need a clip. They're not torsion springs, they're compression springs. So we have all kinds of things that fit this and look really, really good. So I wanted you to see that up there in the ceiling. Here's a 4-inch housing that's just an oddball. Everything about it's an oddball. It has these weird things here sticking out. I don't know what they're for. It has clips, but none of our 4-inch is designed to attach to the clips. Almost nobody's are. And there are a lot of weird things out there. This just happens to be one of them. Do we have a good solution for this? Not really, not yet. There's some things we could try, but it's not really what this video is about. This video is about the 5-inch and 6-inch recessed housings that don't have clips in them. Earlier in this video, we did talk about square housings, and there's a notation there that we had one more square one to show you. And we got this picture from the field, and it's really cool because it shows everything. It shows a socket attached to a socket supporting trim, and it shows that the trim has the torsion springs. And we don't usually see this with a square housing, but obviously they're out there. There's all kinds of things out there. So in this next picture, you can see somewhat clearly the clips for those torsion springs. There's one there and there's one here. A little hard to see, but it's here. But it is a square can with a round ring inside that's welded inside, making it a round can with a square top part thing. Kind of a oddball for sure. Now, When they measured it in the field, you can see that it's definitely larger than 6 inches. Not quite 7, but larger. And some of the modules get really tight as far as covering the hole in the ceiling. And if the hole's a dirty hole and too big, there is a solution. We have what's called a goof ring, and it's a simple piece of plastic that sandwiches, doesn't attach. It sandwiches between the LED module and the ceiling itself. So when the LED module is pulled up against tight on the ceiling with its springs, it sandwiches this ring in between, and you only can adjust the rings as far as its placement and being centered with your fingers. You just push it around with your fingers, and then when you're all done, it looks kind of like this. I think it looks pretty good. I have them in my house built in 1940 with ancient recessed housings, and they cover the holes nicely, and it looks very finished, and it looks like someone did it on purpose. I guess I did. We have attractive, energy-efficient LED solutions to fit your project needs, and we can deliver quickly. Here are the next steps. Write down the number that appeared in the photo in this video of the can you have. If you do not see it here, we have a web page of these unique cans as well as others. See the link below. Then send us the number that corresponds to the can you have, and tell us how many you have. If you do not see your can in this video or on our webpage, and only if you do not see it, then send us a photo of the inside of your can without the trim or bulb in it. Send no more than 2 photos, and let us know the diameter of the can. Don't guess, measure it. Once we get your email, we'll respond right away. Keep it simple, as we only have one guy here that does this, and he gets swamped. Now let's get it done. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions on our products, please feel free to ask us. Use this email address for quick communication. support@totallightingsupply.com. We answer product questions all day long, Monday through Friday. However, if you ask questions on YouTube, it may be some time before we see it. Our videos are designed as an overview of our products, and we recommend hiring a qualified electrician for your project to ensure a safe installation. And as always, see the description for links to our website. See the product description on our website for important details, as well as updates and specifications. Also, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any new product information. We offer information, such as this video, and a level of service you will not find anywhere else. Consider using us for your project needs. All of us at Total Lighting Supply hope to hear from you soon.